Raymond. Oh, hold on. Let me unmute you. Unmute. Hold on. On my end, I'm unmuting you.
Oh.
There we go. There you go. I hear you now.
Oh wow.
Hey.
At last.
Great.
Wow. How are you, my brother?
Hey, it's good to see you.
Good to see.
So you're at your place, huh?
Yeah, this is our farm, and it is looking beautiful. Can you see them? Can you see our farm?
I see the roof. Oh, there. I see a water tank and some. Oh man, lots of plants. There's your board.
Yeah.
There's your description.
This is our house.
Nice.
And behind our guest house, you can see our missions and vision.
Mm-hmm.
And doing water catchment here. We have this big tank. This one was donated by a friend who came here, who volunteered from the US.
Great.
And he sent us the money. This tank is 5,000 liters.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And we also have other tanks this side. Like you can see this one next to the gate. This is also another tank. There's also some two up there. And we also have another one behind our chicken coop. These ones were donated by water charity organization that I shared our vision with them. They donated these tanks, and they have also donated another 5 tanks that we've given to the families in the community.
Oh, that's great.
And so that they can do water harvesting. We also have our solar. I don't know if you can see our solar panel on the roof.
I don't see it yet.
Let me take you there.
Well, I'm excited to see the water harvesting. That answers Michael's question. That's pretty exciting.
You can see the solar up there.
Oh, okay.
On our guest
How many
roof.
watts is that?
This one was 350 watts.
Wow,
not very big.
That's impressive. So who helped you get the solar?
The what?
The solar panel?
Yeah, this was also donated. So volunteered with us here from France.
Oh, cool.
Yes, there were. By the way, many of these things that we've done here are through volunteer work that has made some of your questions here. I'll really answer them, and most of the work that has been done here, it is through our friends. Even this land, we bought it, and the title deed is on our name, and we bought it through friends who did our fundraising online, and people donated. Some people that I even don't know, but I'm very happy that today we have our own piece of land.
Crowdfunding is great, isn't it?
So.
That's cool. So you have volunteers visit once in a while and come out to you from the world and participate. That's wonderful news.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
So you were talking about the water harvesting, and I was wondering, like, you've got that dialed, and you said that some tanks had been given to others in your area or in your neighborhood. How does that compare to how other people are doing on that? And what are some of the other practices people are using? Is there anything indigenous to the area besides, poly water tanks that you might be putting to use or others are putting to use there?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question, my brother. A very good question. Okay, this area received has been receiving drought for many, and we also have just a river down behind our farm, just the other side, around from the farm. and it is a dry. It get dries. It dries up drought.
Yeah.
And when the rain comes like that, now we have some water there, and the water is not very clean. And we've thought of a way of doing a dam, maybe to help get more water. It's been very possible because we've not found people or people volunteer themselves to do that. So that's why we brought in the water. That's why I talked with this NGO, the water charity, to donate some tanks for us, though the tanks are not very enough. And again, the families around this region, many of them have got a iron roofed house like this one, this house, and many of them does not have the water tanks to do the water harvesting.
Yeah.
So the spread of water harvesting practice is not true. And again, the water tank water, many of them used to come to our farm here to draw clean water. And despite that we have the water tanks in some of the giving the water tanks to some communities, they cannot find water there because of the drought, no rains and no water, because the water is not enough for everyone in the community.
So you do find that even though you have the tanks, sometimes in the dry season it's still not enough, and because
not enough.
You're
Not
also
enough.
helping your community and not just your farm. Oh, it's awesome that you're helping your neighbors. We'll see what kind of traction we can get through these conversations to help you guys set that up. But when you say about the river not being clean, now what was I thinking? Oh, beavers in North America help create ponds, and they create dams, and they also burrow and furrow and make ponds and bigger. And before colonialists showed up and killed the beavers for hats, there were long strings. It was like strings of pearls of ponds all around. And I wonder what what we might be able to work on with getting trees back up to the river, and what sort of species, like what would it be there, like hippopotamus to make to furrow and make parts of the river bigger, to keep more water in more places there. It seems like more ponds would be be helpful to the whole area. Maybe you could speak to that. I know that hippos also attack a lot of people, so that might not be great.
You're just right, brother. Land where you see the water, that river passes through. It belongs to some people in the community. So some people maybe they have their issues as well. So we were thinking like maybe even boreholes would be still okay for this to have get access to clean and potable water. It can be dug and pumped, maybe the solar system to the tanks, so that the community can get clean water. Because like this area, we made a survey and we found that the water level is not very bad, it's very good. And so a borehole will be very, very okay here.
So John D. Liu, I'm not sure if you've heard of him, but he was at the conference, and he was working in Ethiopia, and where they have that, and it was getting a little muddy, and the people in the area, it started to dry up, and when they replaced the trees and brought more trees closer to the water, all of a sudden it became more clear. And there's more water. It's like magic. You bring the trees back, and there's lots
of course,
water and clean water. Almost like a miracle. But yeah, I wondered what if you had anything to say toward like reforestation, if there's any planting efforts near you that could help with this greater situation of bringing more water and fixing more water to the land.
My brother, That's a very good question. That's a very, very good question. In fact, this area, many people have cut down the trees. Since it is, we are now 2 years old here, and we've been encouraging the community to plant more trees.
Great.
And that has not been very, very possible. When like starting a tree nursery here, so get the seedlings from us here.
Yeah.
And so that they can plant. We tried our seedling, one of our seedbed there, and though it didn't work well because we didn't have enough seeds. And right now I think the 1,000 trees, seedlings.
That's great. That's a good start. That's great.
And we wanted we really want that we produce even 20,000 or 50,000 seedlings for the community to come. And we because we are very good in good communication with the area chief and assistant chief and these community leaders. We are very friendly and vision. So mobilizing the community is not a big problem. It's very, very easy, my brother. So we thought it like when we have the community can come and get the seedlings, and we can maybe arrange for planting of trees in this region, because
my goodness, someday I hope to be at one of those things. That would be wonderful.
There are very many soils that are laying fallow here, and some of them are being like right now they are washed by the rains to the river, and whenever I see these things I feel very sad. Like I feel like there's something that should be done, my brother, So planting trees will be really it will really help. I tell you this from my heart.
It's the only number one best thing. And the only thing better than planting trees is making sure to plant the right trees in the right places and keeping them watered so they survive. Although that's still planting trees.
But you're very right.
I am just so ecstatic to hear all the work that you're doing and how much help you've already got going already and how much community support. It seems sometimes like permaculture in the United States is a hobby or a profession or outcast. I mean, here it's like something people do, whereas there it seems like it's something you are doing to survive. And bringing community together. I'm just wondering, I'm excited for the inspiration on connecting this to community, because we want to bring it to community everywhere and promote the idea that this is a solution to bringing the global community together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're very, very right. Like when the community gather together and having healthy food, my brother, that process alone removes some fears from them as well, So they will be together, people will share together, people with problems. Somebody can say, oh, I have this problem, please. There will be a communal, people will be sharing together, and from that we move forward, So I really love exactly. So this area be very, very good, and I always believe in myself that if before I die, my brother, I must made a good leader, a legacy. I always tell the community members volunteer with that. When you come here to work here and learn here, we also want you to go and implement back at home, because action in is the greatest. Not just having the knowledge and just keeping quiet with it, implementing it will also help you to help another neighbor. So we will keep this rolling. And when we talk about organic farming, it's not very, very, very easy. Many people have got very big pieces of land, and many of them are practicing in organic farming using these synthetic fertilizers, which are very harmful for our health. Came in here, a kind of people were amazed. Oh, what's But I'm very happy that there are some people who have started implementing, and the soil alone is not very, very good. For the first 1 year, working on this soil, trying to make this soil, because it's a lot of sandy and not very, very good. So we started making compost and also teaching the community to make compost, because from the soil is where we start,
Did you have some beautiful composting workshops?
Because in fact, right now we have a training going up to August, and one of the topics, we have the 5 topics to cover, and one of the topics was compost making. In fact, we first did it and I trained over 80 people, 80 community members. In every week, I was staying for the teachings, for the trainings. We have our guests, our training shed is not very big, it is very small, so it can only to 25 people. So our first training was compost making, and even be walking to the community around to check, do a follow-up of people who had the trainings and now implementing back at home. So this week, so my topics that we thought was compost making, because we start from the soil, and from there we wanted to roll and keep rolling so that other from them, so that we reach out to people who need our help. So
that's great. And you're teaching them about the living food web in the soil, yes, and all of that wonderful stuff.
My brother, I'm very happy to share the knowledge with people who need it. I was helped. I'm not, when you could see me 12 years down the line, you could not believe this is the Raymond talking to you. So I was one else who was not even my relative. It's a kind of, God connected us like this, just a volunteer like you who came to our village, took me to school, and when I came back from school, I thought, oh, I should be giving back to the community,
Yeah.
And I've been doing.
You heard the planet's call.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm very excited. During every week, people from the community volunteer with us. Every Wednesdays, every week, every Wednesday, every day. They learn practical, and they also learn theory. I also give part of theory, because some of them have also not gone to school. So, but I give them the basics of what they should do.
Well, that's great. That's great. I mean, school is good, but not everybody is cut out, and and then also even Charles Eisenstein, I believe he's this intellectual philosophical writer, was saying that when people get their hands in the soil and they taste the food, that is worth 1,000 words. Because that's how you reach people, is through their bellies and through their experience. There's nothing like the actual but you've got the knowledge about how it works, so at least you can download to people while they're doing it, and explain how it's significant and how it works. That's great.
Yeah. So you also asked how there's a very good question here that I really want to answer first. You asked how.
Let's look at the notes.
Yes, I put them down. I listed them down because So what kind of animals? Okay, where we are right now, the last month we our chicken here, and we sold all of them to raise money to improve our chicken coop. And I've been posting the pictures of our chicken coop. I think you saw it on my timeline or on our page. We are done with the coop, and we are planning to bring more chicken here and have doves. Do you know doves?
Doves?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
What are you using doves for?
Yeah, I have a friend who is keeping them the other side of town, and when he visits, I asked him if he can give us some more, and he said, "Oh, it's very good, and we really love to give you the doves." So we'd also want to put some beehives, though it's a plan we have, because we have planted more of moringa here, and moringa is produce can help us make a very good honey and a natural one for the community and for ourselves. And we are also planning to have a dairy cow, having planning that, and very soon I believe we'll have a very perfect and a very wonderful demo farm, because what we really like, the poultry project, we are putting it here purposely to have the manure for the farm, and at the same time get healthy eggs for nutrition for the family and for the community. And also we can also sell the surplus and also give us some income without, like, we have many projects coming up. And I always feel shy, like when I always ask people to donate, to ask people for funds, but I have a generative activity that can bring money for the project, and this can fund our project without asking people for funding, for money,
Right.
So that's why
yield and keep yourself going too. So you don't,
exactly.
And it's good to go out for crowd funds, but it's also draining and takes a lot of time and energy just to do it. So
you're right.
You set up so that you get started and you keep going. And I'm glad to hear that you got the chickens and eggs to help with that.
Yeah, of course. So you also asked how HIV positive people. In fact, we've raised very healthy food here. Our vegetables are purely organic. We have the moringa. We have the roselle. The roselle plant, the hibiscus plant. Different herbs like the mint. So we are supporting these people health-wise. We produce. We also produce moringa powder here from the leaves.
Now explain that. What are the medical values of that?
Exactly. One of the things that it does in our body, it is also a very good immunity. It boosts immunity system. It washes the blood. It also helps problems with your joints. It helps it helps that. Yeah, it's a very, and roselle as well has very good health values. Adds vitamin C. It also cleans blood, and it also it also boosts immunity system, in our body.
Interesting.
So there are very many health benefits that maybe I cannot mention them, all of them here, but they are very, very good. I may send you. I have them. They are doing a lot. So we are encouraged to come here. They get the moringa seeds. Moringa seeds is also very good, and they take the moringa seed. They take moringa leaves as vegetables.
So it's multiple uses as well.
Very, very nice. Very, very good.
Yeah, and you were mentioning that a lot of your is it your crew or your staff or people that you're helping empower, it has to do with HIV. So my question was, and you might have just answered it. My question had to do with how this lifestyle or the things that you're growing are helping with that. If you've noticed any improvements in any immune system boost, and it sounds like the answer is yes.
You are asking how our project is empowering the lives of these HIV positive people. Like I've just mentioned, the moringa, we have different crops, plants here, like the herbs, the roselle, the moringa. We give them the moringa seeds, the moringa powder that we make here, the immunity system to make them stronger, to plant back at home, to implement back at home, and also we teach them how to raise healthy food for their health,
This
organic farming.
This is wonderful news, and because a lot of folks, here are suffering from autoimmune disorders as well, and so we may not have the ability to plant moringa, but I know that there's there's things that work in this climate that are similar. So it's good, you know, we can all get into this lifestyle wherever we are and find the wonderful herbs and plant them all over the place. In Africa, where in Kenya where you are, it sounds like it's moringa. Some people here mention they like plantain and dandelion, which grow as weeds, but a lot of people kill them, and yet these are things would really help our body. And so I'm excited to hear that you're doing stuff to fix big problems that normally large organizations with lots of money and pharmaceutical companies think that they're the only ones that can fix. But we could do it with connecting to the earth. Is very exciting news.
Wow. You're very, very right. we also asked about the wild around. We have very many monkeys. And yes, and even hyenas. There are very many here, but they are very friendly.
They're friendly hyenas.
Next to the river there, we have very many monkeys and the hyenas. Though the hyenas you can't see them maybe during daytime, but maybe nighttime. There are very many moving around.
Oh wow!
Some of them are very destructive,
dangerous, but also exciting.
Yeah. the hyenas, though they are very friendly, they only eat sheep, but you know, you don't keep your sheep. But the monkeys are very many here. That's what I know, and
monkeys.
We've been like monkeys.
What volunteers. What kind of monkeys?
What do you mean by which kind?
Well, like I was just curious what species, if you knew.
Oh, I don't really know the species, but the ones that are here are of different and brown, and there's also some that are very black with black hairs. So I would not done that research, and that's a very good work for me now. I would really want to do that research and know which kind of species that we.
Yeah, it's okay. It just sounds wild, like you've got wildlife right up to where you are. And I would rather live in a place with lots of hyenas than no natural predators. It sounds like it's a healthy ecosystem.
We also have different wild birds. Can you see this one? Moving around our guest house.
What was that? I didn't catch that. Oh, I see this.
I'm saying, we also have very wild birds, and that was I found here in the morning and was jumping around, and you know the colors are beautiful. I really love them so much.
That's awesome.
So, we also have wild birds here, so they have sounds. They make very nice sounds for me and for the community, and we really love them.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, no, we love the birds here too.
Oh wow!
Yeah, well, I'm just so it's just amazing to see different parts of the world and the nature that surrounds people. Because what's special to you, you know, what I think is like, wow, it's amazing, that's unique, I've never seen that before. To you, you're like, I see that every day. But if I showed you an elk, you might be like, wow, that's amazing. Whereas if I saw a hyena, I'd be like, I've never seen a hyena before.
Maybe when you come here, you'll be lucky to see them.
Yeah. Well, I'll bet you've never seen a coyote before, and that's similar. But we've got lots of those.
Wow. So you also asked if movements for change in organic agriculture, sustainable land management, tree planting, agroforestry restoration. Not very many. I think we are the because our project is registered as a CBR community based, and it is the only one that I've seen in this area. Yeah, I've been touring within the community and I've not got these movements, but we are trying to, like the people that we've trained, also form some groups, so that they can have something to do. Like if when they come together, because some of them are not coming from this area, very a bit far from where our project is, have some people join them and also keep this organic farming can be known by many people, and tree planting, all those things. And so there are not very many here. And Madai is Greenbelt. Since Mangari died, the movement has not been very active as it were when this woman was alive, So our government, corruption in Kenya, and I know it is also in different governments in the world, but our government, the corruption in Kenya can't really make it very possible. These layman people down here, because like when like last time, I think I went to one of a friend who was working with these people with the Mangani Madai movement, and I asked him if he could for us, he needed money from me to pay him to donate seeds to us. So, like you see, but those days when Magari was still alive, seeds were being distributed freely. Very many people would get access to those seeds, but right now, not very possible. So I can say not very active as it were when Mangari Madai was still alive.
I wonder what we could do to improve that situation. And it seems like where one person or one group, and typically like we like to think, oh, they're doing this, let's get behind them. Whereas if we could create or encourage a different pattern of thinking in everyday people, in people that occupy the government, and that changes the priorities, changes the design, versus one person putting a lot of energy behind, or one organization, or even a large number. I would say that it starts from the grassroots. And what you're already doing in encouraging tree planting, as you described, is one of those things. In the States, we're working on a green belt, and that is making some progress, but similar. It's hard to connect in a way with land use policies and governments, how they are, hard to sell the idea of connecting all of these rivers of life together.
Oh yeah.
So they can flow again, but that's what they need in order to be successful. The predators need large ranges, and the herbivores need to migrate. So here it's the buffalo and the grizzly bear and the wolf and the elk, and there it's different, but it sounds like it's all the same. It's changing government and policy, and not just those big things, but hearts and minds. So that's a priority instead of the different priorities we have now. So great.
Wow. That sounds good. That sounds great, brother.
Well,
that sounds great.
Yeah, I keep saying it, but I'll say it again. I am so excited to talk to you.
I'm more than happy to talk to you, brother, and show you what we are doing here. I've never used Zoom before. Good experience for me as well. I'm not very good in IT. Kind of, I'm learning. So
it's not perfect. And the other thing I think that people will get is that you're in rural Kenya and we're talking to you. So if it's not perfect, whatever. And the internet's not the greatest, but it's good that we've got a link. And we've tested it and it works, and we can do this again and again. You know, the great thing about the Zoom is I'm recording this now, even though this isn't even our official conversation.
Wow.
When we do the official conversation, it will automatically live stream to YouTube, where there might not be 1 million people watching right away, but it gets saved as an archive. And then later, anybody can watch it. And this, because this is a good conversation too, I'll take this recording, polish it up, and submit it. We'll have both. And every time we do this, we could be adding to the material and the amount of knowledge that's getting out there to the world, and about you and about all of this. So I wonder if they're excited about that.
Excited, and very happy, more than happy. More than happy.
Well, I don't want to use up all your data, and I don't want to answer all the questions before we actually talk. But, you know, did you have any more questions for me before I hit the hay and get some sleep before we do this thing for real?
As well, about how important really you how we got to this water tank through volunteers who came here to this piece of land through donations from friends, and so donations we get are very, very important, brother. Very, very important to us. And just to say, receive the donation you sent, the global earth repair sent this morning, $100, and it came through. So my question also, where would go, because we want, like, when somebody donates money, or when money to our project, would really want to know from maybe the donator, the donor, to know if what he wants his money to do, so that we put the money in the right place. So
great,
because we really want to show you what your money has done, and through that we want to be transparent, as you know. So, and that's what has really helped our project so far. And so we need to go to do in our project.
So is the GoFundMe that is still active, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And if people donate to that and put money in that, they could put in their comment perhaps what they would like it to be for, or how would you prefer people do that?
You know, right now, projects going on. If I leave alone the project for my family to have a shelter, we have a community projects going on here. Like I've just talked about the pre-nursery that we started, and it didn't come up well. We only raised around 1,000 seedlings, and we really want to improve that project as well. We also have the chicken coop. We need to bring in chicken here, the local. We need to some feeds, locally made feeds, and you know that also needs money. We also have our guest house. We also want to put to improve it as well. So that's also another project going on. We are also having training people here. You know, I'm doing this free of charge. I don't get any paid. So, but we have a hard time hiring chairs, buying the training material, wherever. Maybe your money, your donations can go to either of those projects. Yeah. So maybe you can just my money goes to this or this or this.
How can we help you set up a regular donations feed through Facebook or Patreon that is independent of any single thing, but helps support them all? Since you're nonprofit and you have a Facebook page, now Facebook has the crowdfunding right there embedded. I wondered if we could work together. I'll be more than happy to work together in helping you do that. getting the documents plugged in, and we can get you, that if that would help, I would love to work with you on that, and help with that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, brother. Okay, Facebook is very good for crowdfunding, but in Kenya, they don't give that. It's still not functioning in Kenya. Maybe in some countries like your country, I think in Kenya, if you you can't be allowed to put the crowdfunding on Facebook. In fact, not Kenya alone, many other countries within East Africa. So with your country, it is very good. You can start the crowdfunding on Facebook. Yeah.
What about Patreon? Are there people in your country using Patreon?
I've not really seen one, because even GoFundMe is not working here. Like when you want to do a GoFundMe page, you have to maybe look for a friend, maybe in the other country, to help host it. But here, no, not really.
So and again, GoFundMe works just fine, and in that case, you can get it.
Yeah, like we have GoFundMe or Go Get Fund, like the one the link for my family shelter. It's Go Get Fund, but it's not. They really charge a lot of fee. A lot of fee, of course, when there. So
that's unfortunate.
They charge a lot of fee, but GoFundMe page is not also working in Kenya, but works in other countries. Or maybe someone who can help.
So if we set up a proxy, we could raise some funds and get those directly to you.
Oh yes, because like in our PayPal, when you send the money to our PayPal, it is very, very cheap and no much charges. Like when came in $100, I mean they didn't take any charge, because they charge very little, very, very little.
Yeah. So, when you send through the email, no charge. Well, that's good news. And with or without the other more fancy crowdfunding stuff, a PayPal donate button is still super easy thing to do. I've been doing that. I could do that in my sleep. I would love to help with that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I mean, we're working on the same thing here, and there's a lot of conversations about that. Is how do we fund Earth repair? And theoretically, it should pay for itself. We're working on abundance, is how I feel, but we want abundance baked into the system. We want to produce a yield. So you can't work on an empty stomach. You need to eat. So that's a really big conversation. Is how do we pay for the party? And I see, when I was growing up, I grew up poor, and we didn't have a lot of money, and we were anti-capitalist, environmentalists, and we saw money as bad. And my auntie in my community eventually told me, she was like, Brendan, you got to get that money is just energy, and it's frozen energy. And right now the system is set up so that certain can cream off the top. They can take certain off the top and they extract. But still, if we walk our talk, then we could see that if it's an energy system and it's virtual, then we can hack that virtual energy system and use the abundance of that particular kind of energy flows. We make it so that flows with the earthwork and the natural abundance and the food abundance that we're creating with this work. And anything to that end, I'm super interested in, because it should be that way. It should be that. It's hard to start a multinational corporation to extract resources out of parts of the planet. It should be super easy to start a permaculture farm.
That'll be good, brother.
Let's try to flip that, shall we? Yeah. Well, I appreciate you hearing me, and I totally hear you, brother. I really, really appreciate the work you're doing.
Thank you very much.
And appreciate getting to see your farm in the daylight. Oh, looks like you're getting a message. And it looks like this is pretty good to go for evening. Are you going to be calling from your home at that point in town, or are you going to be calling from the farm?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, just to mention, I told you there was a lot of mud. We have a motorbike. Motorbike was also donated by a friend from the US, though he passed away last month. And he's the one who donated this project, this motorbike. We've not met, and I really cried because, you know, good intention with this our project, but now death has came in and he's no more now. So we've not met, and when I shared with him about our vision, he's coming from I forgot the state, but he donated this motorbike for us to help us move around, and
awesome.
this motorbike has really helped.
You take from home to the farm, huh?
Yes. I always come with it, ride it to the farm. I first take my boy to school, and come to the farm every day.
Wow! And it was raining today.
Yes, it was raining in the morning.
Oh my!
From the night time. So I came here, like my clothes are still very wet, not a lot, but that have started drying up. So in the morning, but you know, when it rains, I'm very, very happy.
Well, yeah, it's a double-edged sword there, and you're like, hey, it's raining. It's raining. The water tanks are filling. Oh man, I've got to drive the motorbike through the rain.
Oh yes. Both. Yes, our tanks are now full. Full. The 3,000 liters the other side is full. The 2,000 liters the other side is full. The 3,000. Now I'll pump the water from this one to the two upper ones tomorrow.
Great.
Or Wednesday.
Great.
To give room for this. Yeah.
And is this the dry season, or is this the tail end of the wet season, or the beginning of the wet season? How does that work?
In fact, like this season, you know, what we call the climate change is real, brother. You know, it was like we didn't expect this to be the dry season, but this time around it has changed. We had a very long drought, and right now it has started receiving some rains, in which in years back no rains here. So kind of it changed almost every now and then.
It's up and down and up and down, and
yeah,
that's why the water harvesting is for resiliency.
Yeah.
We can't predict anything anymore.
Yeah,
it's all changing.
Wow.
Well, I was curious about, you know, how the big world climate change is affecting you, and also how the local climate change, like you mentioned about the deforestation and a lot of people killing the trees, and kind of answered that question. And I was curious about how the global climate change and the local climate change are affecting you and your ability to do this work.
That's a very good question. You know, like when more trees are cut down, which means we don't receive much rains here, and it brings about, you know. So I always believe that when we green this region, we will always receive more rains, and we'll also create a good habitat for this one, and the place will be green. Our soil will be very good, you know, like we'll have the humus, you know. So when plants are cut down, you know, it really affects us, because a lot of no habitat for these animals, with these wild animals. And, they are very, 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 very important, and also part of the life, part of our life. So that's so when we plant more, bring a very big impact. We'll have to start receiving good rains, because I believe trees are good water catchment,
Yeah,
so
the best.
So like when we plant more trees here, I don't think if will always come. I don't think so, because we'll have a good soil, a good environment,
I've always loved when you in the morning and it's a little rainy and you can see the tentacle of rain come and touch the top of the tree.
Oh yes,
it's like they're talking. However that happens, and there's so many scientific ways that happens, but I've always just seen it. That's magic, and it's just plain as day.
Wow.
Rain brings trees bring rain, rain brings trees. It's together. Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that you feel that way too. I've always felt like water is a magnet, and it brings more water. And if you've got more trees to hold more water, then it'll bring more water and keep more water.
Exactly.
We're selling a lot of our trees in Washington, and I'm not sure why. It's a conversation we've got to have with various forms of government, but right now we're selling them to China for biofuel, for their manufacturing plants and for making energy. And that is not a good thing for us. We got to stop that. All the water we enjoy, that's going to go away if we sell all our tree biomass. So, it's good to hear from you where trees were taken away, you got problems with water, starting to put the trees back, the water is coming back.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder if the rains that are coming right now, are they coming in a destructive way? Or is it too much, too soon, too heavy? How is that affecting the roads and farms and town and stuff?
Few days it comes very heavy, it floods a lot and wash away like many plants are cut down, and the land is fallow, there's nothing there. So very easy when it rains very hard, it washes the water, the soil, the humus, the part of the soil even back in town when I came all the way from in some roads, it was not very good, a lot of mud, and you have to ride very keenly. It has washed a lot of the soil and leaves, which is very, very dangerous. And this what sometimes they also affect other families. They go even with the house, they put down the houses. So not very good. Not very good.
So it sounds like there needs to be some better hydrology planning for the water flow.
Yes.
To
exactly.
keep the water, like key lining, and I don't know if lots of people know these things there, but swales and key lining and that kind of stuff can help slow the water down. It's hard to do that in the middle of a crisis with flooding, but as they say, like when it's at your door. But yeah, I wondered if any of that work could be done there as well as here, because we're having the same trouble. There's a lot of very large flooding, and it's from a lot of hydrology mismanagement and erosion and land mismanagement, allowing that water to just come right off the hills. It doesn't slow down at all. Are you doing any work like that outside of just your place? I see your place is very well set up, but what about the surrounding hills?
Yeah, it is well. In fact, when maybe I'll send you a picture. Maybe later I'll send you a picture. See how what we are talking about has really affected this region. Some been washed to the river and living very big holes, and I'm very sad, my brother, when I see such like things. And it is something should be done. Here. Something should be done here. Yeah. That's why we are setting examples so that the community can come and see, so that they can see this with their eyes and they go and implement back there. So we are setting the example so that they can go and see it. They go and do something at home. So
yeah, bless you for doing that. That's important work.
Thank you.
We could talk and show them, theory, even pictures, and it's not as powerful as they go to a place and see it.
Yeah.
Touch it. So it's good that you're doing that.
Thank you.
I wish you great luck and blessings with that effort and continuing to communicate with your community about that. I think it's up to us all everywhere where we value life and stability to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm humbled, brother. I'm humbled.
Yeah. Well, it's a big job we've got ahead of us. Surviving, eating, and then those are just the basics. Finding a way to keep this planet habitable for our children. And I'm very touched and moved, and I have solidarity with you because we're both parents. And we have children on this planet, and sometimes it's really hard. And I feel a little sorry to them in a way for bringing them in now, but then also I know that I just somehow know that because they're here now, Gaia or God or whatever, whoever has fit them with whatever they're going to need.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to help support that in them. And they're going to blow us away. They're going to impress us about that. I don't know how old your child is, but mine, I just wanted to connect on that. Mine shock me every day with just how much depth and wisdom. And we've got a lot of fear, but I think it's going to be okay. And, just holding that space and holding that door open. So I appreciate the work you're doing. And I wanted to, I'm glad to get this opportunity when you're at your farm, but I got to get to sleep. Otherwise, I won't be much good tomorrow. So I'm going to close this down, and we'll talk back on Facebook. Okay.
Thank you.
Love, brother.
My
this
brother.
Is good.
Yeah, it is good. I'm happy.